Greetings, fellow historians. Welcome to the Forbidden Codex of History, where we delve into the hidden, obscure, and unresolved mysteries of the past, exploring forgotten civilizations, enigmatic artifacts, unsolved historical events, and so much more. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Now let's delve into today's mystery. For over 2,000 years, the location of Cleopatra VII's final resting place has remained one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of ancient history. The last ruler of Egypt's Ptolemaic dynasty, Cleopatra was a woman of immense power, intelligence, and influence. Yet, her tomb has never been found. Legends speak of a grand mausoleum, a secret burial site hidden away from the reach of Rome, where Cleopatra and her lover Mark Antony were laid to rest after their tragic end. Was it lost beneath the shifting sands of time? Or was it intentionally hidden, safeguarded by ancient priests to protect the final queen of Egypt's legacy? Now, archaeologists may be closer than ever to solving this riddle. Excavations near Alexandria and Taposiris Magna have revealed clues that could change history. Could Cleopatra's tomb be buried deep beneath an ancient temple? Or could the real secret lie somewhere no one has thought to look? In this episode of the Forbidden Codex of History, we will uncover the theories, the latest discoveries, and the secrets surrounding Cleopatra's lost tomb, a mystery that could rewrite the final chapter of Egypt's greatest queen. Chapter 1. The Last Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra's Final Days. Cleopatra VII Philopator. The name alone conjures images of opulence, seduction, and political cunning. But behind the legendary persona lies the tragic tale of a woman caught in the storm of empire, power, and betrayal. She was the last sovereign ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty, descended not from native Egyptian royalty, but from Macedonian Greeks who had ruled the land for nearly 300 years since the conquests of Alexander the Great. Fluent in at least 9 languages and deeply educated in philosophy, astronomy, and politics, Cleopatra was far more than a beauty queen of legend. She was a fierce intellect and a skilled negotiator. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony were not merely romantic entanglements, but strategic alliances aimed at preserving Egypt's autonomy in the shadow of a rising Roman superpower. But even the most brilliant minds can be overtaken by tides too strong to resist. In 31 BCE, the tides turned at the Battle of Actium. Cleopatra and Mark Antony's combined forces clashed with those of Octavian, Caesar's ambitious heir. Defeated and disgraced, they retreated to Egypt. As Octavian advanced toward Alexandria, their fate became inevitable. With her city occupied and her dynasty collapsing, Cleopatra took refuge in a mausoleum she had secretly constructed. A sanctuary she hoped would be both a final statement and a final shield. Ancient sources, particularly Plutarch and Dio Cassius, recount that Cleopatra ended her life by means of an asp, a venomous serpent smuggled into her tomb in a basket of figs. Others suggest she may have consumed a deadly cocktail of poisons, or even used a poisoned hairpin. Whatever the method, the result was the same. Cleopatra, Egypt's last queen, was dead. Her body was laid to rest beside Mark Antony in a tomb whose location remains one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Octavian, upon discovering her death, reportedly ordered the tomb to remain intact, perhaps out of respect, or as a symbol of his ultimate victory over one of history's most enduring power couples. But as centuries passed, earthquakes, floods, and the ever-shifting sands of time erased all clear traces of its location. Was Cleopatra's tomb buried beneath the ancient foundations of Alexandria, now swallowed by the Mediterranean Sea? Some researchers believe her mausoleum lies near the temple complex of Taposiris Magna, west of the modern city, a site currently under active excavation. Intriguingly, discoveries of royal tombs, mummified individuals, and Greco-Egyptian artifacts have hinted that the final resting place of Cleopatra may still wait in the darkness, untouched. Or could her tomb have been purposefully hidden, sealed away by loyal followers in a bid to protect her legacy from Roman desecration? If found, Cleopatra's tomb would be one of the most profound archaeological discoveries of all time. Not only would it offer insight into a vanished dynasty, but it could finally unveil the truth behind the final hours of the woman who defied an empire. And perhaps it might still hold untold treasures, sacred scrolls, or even her perfectly preserved remains, waiting to speak once more. Chapter 2. Theories and Clues. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? For over 2 millennia, the location of Cleopatra's final resting place has remained one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. The last queen of Egypt vanished from history, not only in life, but in death, leaving behind only whispers in ancient texts and the enduring curiosity of scholars, archaeologists, and adventurers. Our primary clues come from the Roman historian Plutarch, who wrote that Cleopatra was buried in a splendid and lofty mausoleum she had prepared for herself. He described it as standing near a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis, Cleopatra's most sacred deity and a key figure in Egyptian spirituality. Isis, the goddess of motherhood and magic, was deeply intertwined with Cleopatra's identity, and the queen was even worshipped as the living embodiment of the goddess in her time. But despite this vivid description, Plutarch gave no coordinates, no map, and no clear indication of its precise location. Theory 1. Beneath the ruins of ancient Alexandria. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Cleopatra's tomb lies beneath what was once the royal quarter of ancient Alexandria, a magnificent palace complex that housed the Ptolemaic rulers, perched on the edge of the Mediterranean. Some scholars argue that Cleopatra, who saw herself as both Greek and Egyptian, may have chosen to be buried in Alexandria, the heart of her Ptolemaic dynasty. After all, the grand palace complex where she reigned once overlooked the sea, and some believe her mausoleum was part of this royal quarter. Today, that part of Alexandria lies submerged beneath the harbor, a lost city beneath the waves. But over centuries, earthquakes, tsunamis, and rising sea levels consumed much of the ancient city, submerging it beneath the waves. Today, a large part of Cleopatra's palace lies underwater in the Bay of Alexandria. Underwater archaeologists have discovered temples, columns, and sphinxes in this sunken city, and some believe that her tomb may still lie there, perhaps hidden in a chamber not yet unearthed. French archaeologist Franck Godillot has led some of the most extensive dives in the region, recovering priceless relics from the submerged ruins. Still, the final piece of the puzzle, Cleopatra's burial site, has eluded discovery. Theory 2. Taposiris Magna, the Temple of Osiris. Another compelling theory shifts the focus inland to the mysterious temple site of Taposiris Magna, located about 50 kilometers west of Alexandria. Recent excavations at Taposiris Magna, a windswept temple complex west of Alexandria, have ignited global excitement and renewed the belief that the Queen's final resting place may lie tantalizingly close to discovery. At the forefront of this quest is Dr. Kathleen Martinez, a Dominican archaeologist and former criminal lawyer turned Egyptologist, whose bold hypothesis has captivated the archaeological world. Convinced that Cleopatra would have chosen a burial site linked to Osiris, the god of resurrection, Dr. Martinez turned her focus to Taposiris Magna, a temple long overshadowed by more famous sites. In 2022, Martinez's team made a startling discovery: a previously unknown underground tunnel carved more than 13 meters below the temple's foundations. Described as an engineering miracle, the tunnel stretches over 1,300 meters and leads in the direction of the sea, potentially toward a sealed chamber that has never been entered in modern times. The temple complex has yielded a wealth of tantalizing artifacts. Among them, coins bearing Cleopatra's name and likeness, minted during her reign, affirming the site's connection to her dynasty. Inscriptions to Osiris and Isis, reinforcing the sacred link Cleopatra may have intended between her death and divine resurrection. Mummified remains, including some with golden tongues, ritual offerings possibly linked to funerary rites designed to ensure the dead could speak in the afterlife. A necropolis nearby, suggesting the temple grounds may have been used for elite or royal burials. Each find adds a piece to the puzzle, pointing toward the possibility that this was not just a ceremonial site, but a final sanctuary chosen by the queen herself. Beneath Taposiris Magna lies a maze of sealed chambers, narrow passageways, and waterlogged tunnels. Many remain unexplored, blocked by debris, or dangerously unstable. Could this be the very splendid and lofty tomb Plutarch described? Could Cleopatra and Mark Antony have been interred in a secret chamber within the temple's sacred foundations, far from the Roman gaze? Theory 3. A lost sanctuary in the desert. Some researchers speculate that Cleopatra's tomb may lie even farther afield, perhaps in an undiscovered sanctuary hidden within the desert. The queen was known for her strategic mind and deep devotion to secrecy, and it's possible she orchestrated her burial in a location known only to her most trusted followers. If this is true, her tomb may be lost beneath layers of sand, protected by time and isolation. Inscriptions found in lesser-known temples mention processions and rituals held in honor of Isis and Osiris, and some fringe theories suggest that the queen's body was transported away from Alexandria entirely, hidden in a sacred necropolis where priests conducted secret rites to honor her as a divine incarnation. Despite decades of searching, Cleopatra's tomb has yet to be found. And as technology advances, new possibilities emerge: remote sensing, ground-penetrating radar, and even AI-driven reconstruction of ancient cityscapes may soon unlock secrets long buried beneath earth and sea. Chapter 3. A lost tomb or an eternal secret? If Cleopatra's tomb is ever discovered, it would be a revelation on par with the unearthing of Tutankhamun's golden sarcophagus, a seismic event in archaeology, history, and world culture. It would not only solve one of antiquity's greatest mysteries, but also offer unprecedented insight into the life, death, and legend of Egypt's final pharaoh. But after 2 millennia of silence, the question remains: will it ever be found? Cleopatra's burial, according to the ancient writers Plutarch and Cassius Dio, was conducted in haste, yet with honor. They claimed her body was laid to rest beside Mark Antony in a grand mausoleum built by Cleopatra herself. But in the centuries that followed, wars, earthquakes, and rising seas devoured ancient Alexandria, burying her tomb under layers of destruction or beneath the sea itself. Some archaeologists believe the tomb lies far deeper underground than current excavations have reached, perhaps shielded by the very earth Cleopatra once ruled. Others theorize that her final resting place has already been destroyed or looted, its treasures melted down, and its historical value lost to time. And yet, there's a third possibility, that it was never meant to be found. Cleopatra was no ordinary queen. She was a master of political symbolism and religious rites, aligning herself with the goddess Isis in both life and death. Some scholars suggest that her burial was a ritual act, meant to transcend mortality, hidden in a sacred space protected from the profane world. Was her tomb deliberately concealed, sealed in a temple only accessible to high priests and royal initiates? Could the queen who defied an empire have ensured her body and her secrets would never fall into Roman hands? If so, her disappearance may have been intentional, her final act of rebellion against the rising power of Rome, a statement carved in stone and silence. For all the theories, one truth remains. Cleopatra's tomb is more than a physical space. It is a symbol of her enduring mystique. She was not just a monarch, but a scholar, a linguist, and a diplomat. She ruled during a time of unparalleled crisis and fought for Egypt's independence until her last breath. Her story, intertwined with that of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, has captured imaginations for centuries, inspiring art, literature, film, and endless fascination. To find her tomb would be to touch the soul of Egypt's last great ruler. It would allow historians to re-examine her reign not as a tragedy written by her Roman enemies, but as a powerful narrative of resistance, sovereignty, and sacrifice. And perhaps that is Cleopatra's final legacy, not only to be remembered as Egypt's last queen, but as a figure whose story still defies time, still challenges the limits of what we know, and still beckons us to dig deeper, to search harder, and to never stop asking questions. Conclusion. The tomb of Cleopatra remains one of the last great mysteries of ancient Egypt, one that may yet be uncovered. If it is found, it will redefine history and give us the final piece of the puzzle to Cleopatra's incredible story. Until then, her legacy lives on, in the stories, the legends, and the eternal sands of Egypt. Will the lost tomb of Cleopatra ever be found? Or will it remain hidden forever, an unsolved mystery of the ancient world? Only time will tell. And thus, the mystery goes on. Thank you for listening. If you liked this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to watch that recommended video for you for more mysteries to uncover. We shall see you in our next session of The Forbidden Codex of History.